performance, new technology, and more. Call us now at 888-8-ROAD-DOG.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. It is the Power Hour. We are going to get back to the calls, but I'm going to throw out a question to my team here because I know you guys have lots of driving experience for lots of years in different conditions, different vehicles, all kinds of things. I just saw this on Facebook. The question somebody posed in a group on Facebook was, should you use cruise control when the weather conditions are bad? Snow, rain, ice, that kind of stuff.
Hell no. Heavens no.
Okay, so
God,
that's
no.
why well, people went off calling him a rookie. Oh my God, I can't believe you even have to ask that question. If you have to ask that question, you shouldn't be driving. I'm going to disagree. I've used cruise control in all kinds of bad weather conditions, and I really don't see the problem. In fact, I could make an argument that cruise control is safer. And here's the argument I would make. Almost every accident comes down to stopping distance. If you would have had a little more space, a little more time, you may have been able to avoid the accident. When I drive with cruise control on, my foot is placed right in front of the brake. I'll bet I beat you to the brake by at least a half a second because you have to come off the accelerator and over and onto the brake, and that can be the difference in stopping distance.
Well, Kevin, in 1980, I bought a brand new Tornado diesel, front-wheel drive. And I'm on my way to Donegal, Pennsylvania to go skiing, and the turnpike has snow on it. And I'm on cruise control. I said, hey, my first front-wheel drive, I'm set. And the front tires broke loose, and by the time I could get the cruise control off, I was already at 90 degrees, and I did a complete 360, kept it between the guardrails. Well, and I said, that's the last time I'll have cruise control on in the snow, and that was 1980.
But Bruce, I've identified what your problem was. You bought a GM diesel.
Well, I did.
I'm surprised that they had enough power to cause them any grief at all.
That's I had a whopping 95 horsepower. I mean, it still broke the tires loose. So, anyway, that is a terrible thing to do because your foot, when you start to lose traction, and if you're in tune with your vehicle and in tune to your driving, the moment you feel that start to break traction, your foot's coming up off that throttle ever so slightly, not all the way, just a little bit. And you never, in heavy rain or snow, use cruise control.
Yes, so, I'm the outcast on this one. I'm
going to have to respectfully disagree with you as well. And I get the foot on the brake thing too, but unless you're, when I'm driving an automatic vehicle, I'm usually left foot braking anyway, so I don't have a problem with that.
That's because you're a race car driver.
Yeah, so it's the way, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But my Dodge, and even maybe it could be adjusted, I'm not sure. I've got a Dodge pickup that makes a little more horsepower than it's supposed to. And even in the wet, and I use cruise, I don't have a problem using the cruise, and the thing still gets decent fuel mileage, but it feels so hard when it sees a hill or notices a hill, it'll actually break the rear tires loose in the wet. It's crazy. It's you come up on a hill, and the thing starts to load, and it's as if you floored it. Like, it never accelerates that hard with my foot on the throttle. So I've been in situations where
in 400 feet, turn right on AR 391 and then take the entrance to the right in 590 feet.
Thing would actually break the tires loose in the wet, let alone the snow. So I'm afraid to put it on in the snow. But now again, that's not your average Dodge pickup either. So.
Yeah, and it's not your typical Class 8 truck, which is almost impossible to break wheels loose on just wet pavement, right? I get it. It will break loose easier on snow and ice. And if I think back to really extreme conditions, when it's bad enough that I'm really driving slow, then I'm not going to have it on. But people in here were losing their mind about using the cruise because it's raining.
Well,
that we have nowadays.
When if a truck goes into hydroplane because of wet spots, especially when it's coming, it's flooded on the side of the road, and
in 400 feet, take the entrance to the right on I-40 East.
Coming out into the right-hand lane, you don't want that cruise control on. That is bad news.
I guess I'm the outcast on this one. We'll get back to the phone calls. Let's head off to Georgia. Bill, welcome to the program.
Hey guys, I just wanted to ask a question about oil. The farm supply where I have 5 trucks, so I change the oil in them pretty much every month. And
I think we're losing you. Bill? No, I think we lost him. Hey, speaking of oil, he did remind me of something. I had a call earlier today. Going to be interesting to see. They mistakenly put oil that is designed for a natural gas engine in a diesel. And they caught it. They only had it in there about 8,000 miles, and then they sampled it, changed it. And I asked them to send me a sample, because I've done some research on this.
Continue on this road for 119 miles.
You look at oil samples for natural gas engines, you look at them completely differently, because they produce some pretty strange compounds, stuff that we don't normally see in diesel, so they have a very different additive package. He was worried they did some damage. I assured him he didn't do any damage. Oil with no additives does what it's supposed to do. It protects the engine just fine. It protects moving parts. It's without the additive package, it just won't last very long. The additives are there to overcome problems from combustion gases. That's why we don't really have additives in the transmission oil, nothing like we have in the engine. But I want to see what kind of weird readings we might get on that oil.
It should be fine in the diesel, actually. I think long term it would have been an issue. I think they don't use the calcium that the diesel oils use, and some of the new diesel oils are getting away from calcium as a detergent as well. Just because there's some friction involved with it, somewhat abrasive. So you see a lot of them are getting away from it. But from what I understand is it creates deposits in the, if you use the diesel oil in the natural gas engine, you get these deposits of calcium everywhere.
Okay.
Because the temperatures and moisture and some other things cause it to literally draw it out of the oil. But going the other direction, if you use the natural gas, the only problem you're going to have is it's not quite enough detergency. So,
right, whatever they use to keep the soot dispersed in the diesel oils, and they've increased that over the years because of the problems with soot in the emission engines. They don't have that, or they don't have much of it in the natural gas because they don't produce a lot of soot.
Right.
So that was the one thing I was concerned about. But I said in 8,000 miles, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. You didn't do any damage at all to this engine. That oil was working just fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take another call. Let's head off to Pennsylvania. Paul, welcome to the program. Paul, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. It's your turn. Go ahead.
Hey, concerning the book, Diesel's Engine, there's 2 other books out there that I think you and your listeners would like. The first is titled My Days with the Diesel, and it's a first-hand account written by Plessy Cummins about how everything came about. And the second is titled The Diesel Odyssey of Plessy Cummins, and it was written by his son Lyle. And they are both very, very good reads.
Got it. I've got them on my list. In case anybody's thinking about what they should get me for Christmas, I like books.
It's funny you mentioned the Diesel Odyssey of Plessy Cummins. I had that page up on when I did my search while we were off the air there a while ago. I was looking at that one and about to click it. So thank you. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for the call. Looks like I'm going to be spending some money on books today. Let's head off to North Carolina. Paul, welcome to the program.
Howdy.
What's on your mind today?
I got one quick one for you, Kevin. Remember the other day you said a lot of people go to Someday Isle?
Yes.
Well, do you know where they actually go when they go to Someday Isle?
Where?
They go to Procrastinator's Point.
Yeah, I had a guy the other day, he kept saying, I'm going to do this, and when this happens, I'm going to do that. And I said, you're just stuck on that island. That someday I'll do this, someday I'll do that.
Did you guys ever
Today's
read
the
that
day.
article I wrote about procrastination and how it costs you a lot of money and it can kill you?
I haven't got around to it yet.
That was quite some time ago. Maybe we'll dig it out and republish it.
Bruce, I'm going to get right on that tomorrow.
There was also a thing called Around to It.
Yes.
And I saw it on a lady's refrigerator, and it was a round circle, and it said Around to It. And I forget everything it said into it, but it was always, well, I'll get around to it, and I'll get around to it.
That's right.
Here's what happens in a vehicle, especially a semi-truck. When that subconscious mind tells you that there is a problem, and your subconscious mind doesn't sleep, and it hears and feels everything, and most of them you'll ignore, but whenever you say, hey, I'm thinking that something is wrong, chances are it is. And you should never just totally ignore it, because then it's going to cost a whole lot more money and a tow bill.
There you go. I agree. So, Paul, what did you really call for?
I'll give you an update on my fuel mileage. I've
Okay.
got, since my rebuild, I have 41,339 miles. My 90-day average, it went down a bit because I've been running a little bit heavy. It's hard to leave a half a car behind, so I'm at 5.575 for the 90-day. And now I got to throw a legal disclaimer out for the next thing. I am not paid to say this. I'm not sponsored by Pittsburgh Power, and I do not collect any royalties checks from video viewings. The reason to go to Pittsburgh Power is because it's worth it, and if you can hear the show, it's not too far to drive there, and the money you spend there is well worth it.
I like that. If you can hear this show, you're not too far away from Pittsburgh Power to go there.
Yeah, you're right. If you're on this continent, it's not too far to drive.
I think we have some videos of that Peterbilt car hauler in our...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either in, is it on our website or Pittsburgh Power Facebook?
On the homepage, I think. Because I didn't know it was on there, and a friend of mine called me and he says, you didn't tell me that Pittsburgh Power rebuilt your engine. I said, well, you didn't ask. And he said, I said, well, how did you know they did it? And he said, it's on their homepage. And I said, oh, I didn't know. So, yeah.
Well, and just to give people, a point of reference, the average car hauler, I've been dealing with them for decades, gets about 4 miles to the gallon. 4.5 is fairly common. 4 to 4.5 is what I see. And for years, the guy said, well, I can't get any fuel economy anyway, so it doesn't matter. It matters more than ever. If you're at 4 and we can get you to 5, that is huge. You're at 5 almost 5 3/4. That savings is so much bigger than somebody like Steve Crone picking up a mile per gallon, which is next to impossible where he is. And the savings is incredible. So the worse your fuel economy is, the more you should be focusing on it, because the savings potential is so much bigger.
I should follow Steve Crones or Henry Albert. I should bankrupt them.
There you go. That's right.
Kevin, what you just did to Steve Crone's head by saying that, you just planted a huge seed in his head. Now he's going to have to prove you wrong. Right? That's the type of guy he is. He's going to prove you wrong that he can't get another mile.
I know. I've been pushing him for years, and he keeps stepping up to the challenge.
The beauty of Steve is he just does it for the challenge. He doesn't even care. It's hilarious. So
it is. We need more people like him. He has done some things that may not be cost effective if we looked at every penny, but that's not his point. He has saved so much money in fuel over the years that now I think he looks at it, like you said, it's just a pure challenge. Yep. What do I have to spend to get another 2/10 and I'll spend it? Which I love, because that's how we prove these things. Hey, I was going to mention this at the beginning and I forgot. Let me do this. Let me get to a break and I'll come back. We'll do this right after the break. We will be right back with more stuff. This Road Dog Trucking weather update is brought to you by JB Hunt. I'm Kevin Rotsford. We'll be right back.